I have prepared these figures as I was asked to. As you know, I am a member of MFS PMA, and I'm an acting trustee that has come in to do this role. And I produced the figures because I thought that was the best thing to do. They're as accurate as I know, but bearing in mind, I wasn't about for certainly until 31st of March 2023. Well, that's an interesting question. Is the PMA solvent? Well, these losses have been incurred by the PMA, but the costs have been met by MF Solutions. The reality is that MF Solutions are still going to legally deliver those perks and will incur further costs. What it won't be doing is it won't be looking for new members, for want of a better word. We want to just deliver to the clients that have currently, or the members that have currently acquired, donated for perks, and that is what we're trying. That's what we will do. But if you're saying that does the MFS PMA have a bill for £80,000, legally it does. Those costs will be met by MF Solutions. There is a bank account. As yet, it isn't fully open because I need another signatory on it. So as soon as we get a new group of trustees and I've handed whatever I need to hand over to those trustees, then they will sign off on the bank account. So Liz has also asked, if no one wants to take on the roles of trustee, then the PMA will fold and MF Solutions are still obliged to fulfill the contracts. That's exactly right, because the contract is effectively with you as a private members association. And there's if we don't get people on the executive or as trustees, the PMA will fold, and that's just the way. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. But from MF Solutions' point of view, they will still deliver the perks.
And I've spoken to two ladies today. I don't know if either of them are on here. And this is what prompted the email that I sent out. And I apologize for sending it. I've seen the response that was sent out from MFS today, and I'm not here to run anyone down. Okay, I would imagine I actually did respond to that email to Simon, inviting him and Matt to come on this evening. I can't see them on here, but I suspect that they are on here somewhere and listening, or there's somebody on here that's listening for their purposes, and that's fine. I'm not here to run anybody down. I just want to make some points. The email that was sent out is factually incorrect. I wasn't sacked and I'm not disgruntled. I resigned from MFS for reasons that I'm not prepared to talk about here. There are people on this call who left at the same time as me for the same reasons. It wasn't just me. It was a group of us that decided to leave in June. Now, I'm not doing this for any other reason but to see whether there's anything I can do to assist anybody that is having problems with debt collectors. For example, the two people that I spoke to today were very simple problems to resolve. Don't get me wrong, they're not suddenly going to vanish, but with what we discussed, they will be able to arm themselves and will be able to deal with some of the aggravation that they've got on at the moment. So, this evening is nothing more than trying to help. I spent, I think it was 3 or 4 months working at MF Solutions. Many of you guys on here I've spoken to over the time. So this is, if you're, I'm not here, in the email that they sent out, they started to bring up where I work. I never mentioned it. I sent this from a personal email address because this is a personal reach out to all of you. What I do as a day job, where I work, I won't discuss here. I didn't discuss it with any of the people that I've spoken to that are MF clients, members, because that's not what this is all about. This is just all about anybody that is having severe problems that I felt I could potentially offer some sort of, not remedy, but some sort of direction that could help them find out. Is MFS in financial problems? That's the rumor that I've been told. You've only got to look at Companies House to see a change in directorship. So with that said, if anyone has any questions, please put your hand up and, we'll see where this goes.
And I've spent a lot of money all on credit cards, and I'm trying to do my credit set off to repair whatever credit I do or don't have. And also because I had a credit card with zero balance, and now I've spent 10,000 and I've not seen anything for my money. And so we were trying to do a credit set off, and you had a fantastic call with you. It was all about the 2-year, 3-year plan of where we start off, and we decided we would start off with a credit set off, so that I could access some money in order to start investing again in it all. And I don't hear from anybody, and so I have absolutely no idea where I'm up to, what I'm up to. Nobody replies emails, nobody replies any telephone calls, and so that's why I'm here tonight.
And I've been progressing, getting my money back for possibly about a year at least, I think. But the challenges I had, and possibly still have, is first of all, back comes them saying, MFS saying, but we're not a UK company. And I went, hang on a moment, what does this say? Companies House, here, registered in Croydon. And then they're going, oh no, we're not at that address, so it can't be right. Yeah, so that's what I found is they threw every slippery, slimy thing they ever could at me, either through when I was trying to claim on the credit card or through the small claims court, and they haven't responded. They did originally respond back saying, as I said, yeah, no, we're not there, we're not here, you can't do this because. And it seems to me that if you look at it all, they've put every barrier in the way that they can. The only other thing I'll chuck in, I mean, I'm on Ian Clifford's mailing list, so I get daily offers from him and webinars and all sorts of things. And if you've seen it on the recent one, just for a laugh or amusement, because he says, if this doesn't work, I'm going to pay you £1 million, right? And he's really, I'm going to pay you £1 million. If this doesn't work, I'll pay you £1 million. And underneath on the T's and C's, it says, if you want to apply for that refund of £1 million, and then you have to sign an affidavit saying unlimited affidavit saying he can come at you for everything you've got, your house, your car, everything, to make the claim for £1 million. Bizarre.
I'm not here to comment on any other company. What you said about the what you're doing with regards to court, I think that will probably be very useful for some other people on here, but ultimately I'm aware that some people have been successful with applying for section 75 on the credit card. That's what Michael was referring to on his Amex, but obviously Amex didn't want to play ball on that. But that's something again that you guys individually have to investigate.
David, I'm here because I'm just really concerned that I invested with MFS for my mortgage and for one of the credit cards, and so I'm just here to really find out what do you do? Where do we stand in moving forward with something with you? Because my intention is you can't just give people money and walk away from it. So if they've done what they've done, and I'm going to have to seek a solicitor or someone to get redress on just getting back the money that I've paid for the mortgage to be looked at, because nobody ever calls back, nobody answers any mail. If that was a builder that came here, I'd have his backside already in court. But because it's MFS and everybody's treading all they're doing this, they're going to do what? It's been months since anybody's contacted me. So I'm here tonight because your link was sent to me by a friend that I introduced to MFS, and she spent out a lot of money for various credit cards that they're supposed to be dealing with for her. And her financial situation isn't great. None of us are. I suppose that's why we're doing what we're doing. So let's put them aside, because you've been clear that you're not there to answer anything that they're about. But I want to know what you bring to the table and what you're offering, so that obviously whatever's happening there's happening there, but I can start with you with something. Do you deal with mortgages?
This is, I don't mean to be evasive, but this isn't what this was about. And, I do work for another organization, but I'm not here to pitch another organization.
It's not asking you to pitch, it's asking what you do in your capacity, because that is my issue. I've paid somebody for something that they said they're going to do, and at the time it was all singing, tap dancing. It hasn't happened. I've met you before when you were with MFS, so I know, I know how you work, and I'm not expecting you to put yourself in any situation where you're answering for someone else. I'm asking you as David, what is it that you do that could help me?
Okay. Again, Marlene, if you want that conversation, then I'm happy to take that conversation offline. I'm just not prepared to do that in this group, because I'm going to stick with what the reason why I sent that out was similar to the conversation that I've just had regarding debt and the credit card. It is just to steer a few people in potentially the right direction who are having problems with their credit cards.
But David, if I can jump in here, David, your email on Friday went a bit further than that. You talked about then I may be able to get you back up on your feet. The best part of all, there's no upfront fees. I won't charge a penny until the results you're looking for are achieved.
Yes, Gary. And that is a conversation that I can, that if anybody wants to have that conversation, then I'm happy to have it. But I'm not doing it on an open meeting such as this.
David, are you saying that there are options for us if Just Solutions, who I know them as, I never knew them as MF Solutions, it was Just Solutions that was sold to me. Are you saying that there is options apart from the options you give the first lady that spoke?
There's always options, Gary. Yes. Maybe that email could have been written a bit better. The reason that I sent it out was a genuine offer to just try and reach out to people that are struggling. That was the meaning of it. Now, if anybody wants to look at other options, okay, then that's something that I'll do not on here. But if they want to have that conversation, then you have got my email address. You can reach out to me on the email and we can have a conversation.
I know we've spoken in the past. So again, a lot of my questions have already been raised by previous people. My background is that I've taken a perk and I've not been able to proceed with it or get any feedback at the moment when I'm calling. So, and obviously we had the email about them, I think before Christmas. So a little bit concerned about what the next step is. I appreciate you can't deal with this in this sort of topic, but when you reached out, I just thought, right, okay, so if it goes, we got a stepping stone. That's what I was looking for, because if we can't get a result, we've paid it, but not had any, progress with it. And when I try to call, I can't get through. So,
Trevor, you took exactly the words out of my mouth. I was going to ask you, David, first. In all the time that you worked at Just Solutions or MF, whatever they were called or are called, have you had any success with any of the perks you sold? And to the floor, has anyone? I've just found out payment recovery is not working for anyone, or no one's brave enough to speak. What about the mortgage release? Anything with concrete evidence that it's worked? Or a credit set off. I've taken all three perks, so I've spent thousands of pounds I took the mortgage release. I took the payment recovery. Is anyone dealing with payment recovery and got a shipping code that was sent off to the IRS in America? I got a tracking number that I did see it was delivered, but
I've had 4 attempts at obtaining my ITIN number for the payment recovery park, but I've had numerous, like I think I've had 4 different contact names, you know, within. I'm now with Marina, who seems very capable, but I'm clutching at straws because I'm just like, you know, I'm not ready to give up on it. But I started like January of last year, and every couple of months there's a new person or there's a new problem, you know. So I'm really frightened that I've spent this money, like yourself.
I'm the same. I've invested a lot.
They've become more upfront in saying that they have to they're having to tweak things,
and that they're putting these new processes in place because they were in between 2 places. Some were in Wales, and now they've taken the place from Wales. They're taken over from it. That guy Mark.
The people from Wales left. Okay, that I will tell you. They withdrew their services.
This guy Stephen was very knowledgeable, very, you know, always open to answering any questions, very reassuring, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared. And were you in contact with Stephen, Gary?
He sold me everything.
Me too.
I've got mortgage releases, I've got credits, I've got about 7 credit cards set off.
Me too. You're the exact same as me.
I've got a mortgage release. What is the other one? I've payment recoveries for 2 years. So I tell you what, he definitely the gift of the gab. He could talk, but is he anywhere now? Do you know anything about him, David?
Well, you know, Stephen, I don't know what Stephen you're referring to.
I have his number.
But again, you know, I'm not going to comment on individual people within inside any of the organisations.
Yeah, but I was on the phone to you, David, too. With regard to credit set-offs and all, like there was. If I'm right in saying there was no warning signs then or anything, so something obviously happened in between conversations that we would have had with you on Zoom and you leaving.
Yeah, there was something I discovered.
Right.
I'm not gonna go into that, but there was something that was discovered, and actually I was looking at my resignation notice today, which I sent to both Tony and Matt.
Can I ask you, are we any of us in trouble? What we've got involved in?
No, you're not in trouble. No.
Yeah.
Hi there. Hi. I'm just wondering, this Just Solutions that we got the email from Monday, that is Matt, isn't it? Just Solutions PMA, and it was signed Simon.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, I didn't actually get an email from Just Solutions PMA. The last email I got was on the 20th of November, just saying we wish to confirm that we have not been able to attract, recruit an executive, and as a result of that, MFSA will now be dissolved.
Right, so that's the MFS PMA. Again, I don't know about that. I'm assuming that what's happened is everybody that was part. What you had was let me just give you an understanding of the structures. You had MFS PMA, you had Just Solutions PMA, and the service provider behind that was MF Solutions. So that was MFS PMA, Just Solutions PMA, and then MF Solutions. So I understand that MFS PMA has shut down. I don't know that for sure, but that's just what I heard. And I'm assuming that everybody that was in that PMA has been moved across to Just Solutions.
I mean, obviously as well, I had an in-depth conversation with you about 18 months ago. I'll just touch on it briefly because I sent you a private message, and we discussed mortgage release and we keep the bank payments. And obviously at that time, you was confident when processes work. Obviously, from what other people are saying, it doesn't seem to work. So I'm guessing that's probably the reason why you're there.
I think you got to read in between the lines on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. That's fine.
Okay. Right. That seems to be all of the questions that people had. I will drop out an email to all of you. You've all registered here, so I can't be accused of any breaches in data or anything else that I'm currently being accused of. I never stole the database, but that's what they like to make out. But that's fair enough. You know, I knew the risks, potential risks, when I sent the email, but felt driven enough through the conversations that I'd had with other people just to try and reach out and offer some form of support, direction, and hopefully some of the questions that you've asked this evening, I hope some of you have found that. And as I've said a couple of times now, if nothing else is achieved from this evening, that you get better communication from MFS, then I think that's a win. I'll drop an email and then we can, you know, if anyone wants to talk to me, you can take it from there.